Okay, can you see my whiteboard okay?
Yes, Pastor Bert.
Oh, thank you, Princess. Here we go. Okay, so the way I look at it is like this. It's like an umbrella, right? And in this umbrella, it's got all these spokes, right? Man, this drawing is horrendous. You know how umbrellas look, right?
It's getting better.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Let me fix that one. Okay, so in this umbrella, right? Look at it like this umbrella. This umbrella is Christianity, right? They all follow Jesus. And that's where all the denominations are these spokes. So you can have Catholic. Yeah, I'll just put cat for the sake of, time. So you got Catholics, you got Baptists,
Presbyterian,
Lutheran, Presbyterian. You got
Pentecostal, Apostolic.
Man, you know them, huh? Pentecostal, Apostolic.
The Seventh-day Adventist.
That's the seventh
Seventh-day Adventist. On and on it goes, right? So the fact that it's all Christianity. Why? Because Jesus Christ is the focus. Now, with that, you have different kinds of denominations. And this is only a sampling of the denominations. If you do a Google search, they're saying that there's tens of thousands of denominations all around the world. So it tells us that people don't always agree on how they practice their religion or how they think about their religion. They don't always agree. So we all agree on Jesus, that he loves us, gave his life for us. He died and he rose from the dead and ascended to the Father in heaven. And he is our King. He is our Lord, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. So we acknowledge all those things about Jesus. And all these denominations acknowledge that. They're not going to deny Jesus. But we all differ in our practice. So where do we fit in? We fit in one of these categories, but we call ourselves non-denominational, which means I don't have to fully embrace everything the Baptists believe. See, because you know how it is. If you don't fully believe what the Baptists believe, then you should get out, right? Get out of the Baptist church. If you don't fully believe what the Lutherans believe, then you don't belong in the Lutheran church. You need to get out. Catholics, the same. If you don't fully believe in the Catholic church, then you should get out of the Catholic church. So that's the way it works if you don't fully believe. So the non-denominational part is where you're allowed to believe what you learn in the scriptures, and you and I can have our differences, and we're going to say, okay, we disagree, and let's just agree to disagree, and that's okay. So does that hit home with your understanding? So we're all under the same umbrella. It's just that as a non-denominational church group, we're not locked in to believe a certain way concerning, whatever practices you like different days. Romans 14 is our guide in telling us, we can have our differences, and that's okay. You don't have to believe everything that, our group believes in that sense. So, like here's an example. people go through changes in their faith. Like a person says, our church people should never smoke. Okay. There are some who say it's okay to smoke. It doesn't matter. And so between the two, where do you land? I think it's okay. Another one says, I don't think it's good. Then that's between you and God, and we can still fellowship together, and you don't have to be kicked out of the church because you believe this way. So it goes on and on with that principle of acknowledging the differences, but we still are allowed to grow, because I might believe it's wrong to smoke, but over years and years of walking with God, I realized it's not a big deal. It's not a big issue. So I changed my mind. You're allowed to change your mind, which is a sign of growth, right? So in the religious, perspective, because you're not locked in, you're always allowed to grow as long as you're being honest with God. And so understand, the world looks at Christianity and they see all these religions. Okay, that's the way the world sees us. But between us who live inside Christianity, we all know it should be only the relationship with Jesus is the one that we focus on, not putting a lot of emphasis on our religious denomination. See, so you got to see how the world sees you, how the world talks to you. Oh, you're a Christian? That's your Christianity? That's your denomination? Yeah, they look at you that way. But as insiders, we know it's a relationship. And so you have to be able to understand the difference of how people see you and how we as church people see each other. I see you as a person who has a personal relationship with Jesus, and you should see me as one who has a personal relationship with Jesus as well. So that's how we process it from the inside. But understand, from the outside, they look at your religion as Christianity or Baptist or Catholic or Lutheran or Presbyterian, and that's just the way they see you. And that's the way you have to talk and communicate with them. That's, they see you that way, but inside, it's all about a relationship. So if they say, what's your religion? You can just say Christianity. That's because they don't, they're not the insiders. Okay?
Got it.
And that's good to know.